The Survivor Specialists are back. Will, why does it happen every time? The Survivor Specialists are back for our Survivor 46 predictions and power rankings. Today we are
joined by
what is going on?
Bruce and Phil. Phil is just out of his element right now. I'm gonna have to take this one over, Phil.
It's insane, dude. We were talking the whole time.
We have Bruce. Phil, get your act together and let me do the intro. Welcome back to the Survivor Specialists. We have Bruce on today for predictions and power rankings. We are so excited. Phil, I know we've had a bunch of new era players come on the podcast, but for the first time ever, we have a two-time player from the new era joining us. 2 seasons. So, Bruce, what's going on? We're very happy to have you.
What's going on, fam? How you doing? I always hear that. I hear people, the 2-time player. I'm going to call myself a 1.25 player. How's that? Is that okay?
I like that. I like the decimal point. I don't know where the decimal goes on the scale, but yeah, I think that's fair. Somewhere between
perfect.
1 and 2.
We did our Survivor Second Chances series this season, and it is rough because it's like, well, you can't include Bruce. Bruce just is not involved in Survivor Second Chances now because he technically played his second time. Bruce is over here now, and maybe he's saying, like, if you round down, that's why you want to keep it under 1.5, so you round down so it actually rounds to 1 and you can get that second chance for real.
There is a method to my madness, I promise you.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And apologies for my camera, guys. I don't know what the hell's going on.
1.25, I can buy that. Seems like it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you were there, what, 2 days, right? You made it one night?
No, I wasn't even there. I wasn't even a full day. I was there 12 hours. 12 hours. Drew from my season said it the best. He said that it was basically a false start. That's what I had. So it was a false start in a track meet. And, everybody went back to the blocks and reset, and here we are.
Yeah, there you go. And here we are. And now we're in Survivor 46, the first time in a year that we're not seeing you on our screen. So now we have you on our screen here instead. How you feeling about this season so far?
Up to this point, we're 4 episodes in. I'm feeling good about it. There are a couple of different reasons. One of them is I literally sit here and I'm looking at the television screen. I'm like, oh, I was there. I remember that. I remember this. And there are some points where I actually get emotional. I look at my wife and she's like, Bruce, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Because I remember certain things that happen in certain spots. And then there's the, I've played the game before, so I know that there's a pretty big edit. So then I take a look at the edit and I'm just like, yeah, no, there's got to be more to that story. And then I look at the edit and I'm like, oh man, why are they editing it like this? So my emotions are all over the place. Like I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I'm elated. Like there's so many emotions that go through, but I'm enjoying it overall so far. I'm excited every single Wednesday, wake up in the morning, look at the wife and say, Survivor Wednesday, or she'll say it to me. And that's how my day will go. And I'll be able to see it and just watch this beautiful game that I love. But yeah, it's like, it's a crossroads every now and again as to what emotion to feel.
Yeah, and you were our first. We actually got you on. Anybody who didn't check it out, Bruce did a tell-all with us after Survivor 45, and it was Alexa and I. It was Alexa's last podcast that she's done on the channel. And so if you haven't checked that out, check it out. But you were in that edit world of, you versus Katurah was everything that entire season. And it was just, what was it? Somebody said that I think Katurah had 64 confessionals and 47 said your name at least once. And so you are now seeing this after going through that last season and seeing how it was edited between you and Katurah. Banu is getting he's done now. Got probably one of the most polarizing edits I've ever seen in the history of the show. You got any words for Banu? You got anything you want to say about all of this? Anything?
Well, it was funny. I drove to Connecticut. I'm sorry, New York. I'm in New York right now, sitting in the car. My daughter's getting ready to play softball, so I'm here with my wife to watch her play. And on the way down, I said something to my wife about Banu. Like again, it goes to the emotions about how I feel towards him, towards his actions, and then towards his edit. Because you don't know 90% of what happened with Banu, but then what you did see was like, okay, so if they're showing this stuff over and over again, maybe there's some truth to it that he was like unstable and just erratic, whatever have you. But if I was ever to give him any words of advice for this after Survivor world, because he's still going to keep living it until a year later, just embrace it, man. Like if that's who you are, then hold on to it. If that's what the edit made you out to be, then when you talk to people about it, let them know that's what the edit was. Like that's not who you are, because in all his people know who he is. All my friends and family, they all know who I am. And when they would see me, like, trying to get someone to do something, and Bruce is so mean, and my friends are like, Bruce isn't mean. That's just who Bruce is. Like he wants shit to get done, get it done. So with Banu, it's like if that's who you are, if you know need someone to over explain something, or if you need help with something, you keep doing that stuff. Don't let this show alter who you are just because you want more clarification on certain things, or if you're not, I want to say if you're not confident, but if you're not confident in certain situations, just run with it, man. Do what you got to do to get whatever you need done to get the information that you need. But just don't get down on your knees and beg somebody to help you with something. That right there, that drove me nuts. That was my thing. I was like, excuse my French, but get the fuck up. Like, what are we doing? Get off your knees, man.
That was hard to watch a little bit, just seeing a player deteriorate to that level of desperation. It's not something we often see in a game that is like, sometimes you need to like just beg for a vote. But man, yeah, that was tough to see from Banu.
Yeah.
And Tiffany just straight up said pretty much what you said, Bruce, but she said it in without as many 4-letter words, where she is just like, get up. I'm not going to talk to you if you're on your knees. I'm just not going to talk to you right now. And that was the part, like, I was fine with Banu this entire season. I thought it was an interesting casting choice. Like I thought he was all over the place. I think the biggest problem was we got 35 confessionals in 4 episodes. So that's a lot of Banu, but I don't think Banu was a bad casting choice by any means. But this last 10 minutes of last week's episode, I just thought were super uncomfortable. I thought there was a lot of things that were just uncomfortable where I was like, why am I watching this on Survivor? Look, his post-game stuff, if you go look at everything he said, if you look at the things that he's done, like he's put out different things on Instagram and TikTok, it seems like he is embracing it. It seems like he's just, he understands how this went. He understands it's a show. He understands that, I'm assuming the majority of his cast likes him a lot. It just seems like he's able to let it roll off his back pretty easily. So good for him. But it was, if you were going to get 35 confessionals from Banu, I probably would have liked to have seen it spread out over 8 or 9 episodes. Not necessarily in 4. And I think that's pretty much the case for every single player who's ever played the game of Survivor. I think I'd like to see it more spread out rather than a lot, because it just feels like we only got to know how Yanu played the game because they're the ones who've gone to tribal council, but so much of our time was spent with a player who's now no longer on the island.
And it's not Banu's fault either. Like it's not his fault that his tribe lost every single challenge and that he had 2-hour episodes and 90-minute episodes. Like they had to fill it with something. And I feel like he kind of got the short end of the stick, just being the focal point of this losing tribe. So
what I was going to say is that like with Banu right now, like he's on his Instagram and he's, sending out to the world, like he understands and feels great about this. And his edit is his edit. And I felt the same exact way when I was, getting my butchering, if you will. But there were some times when I was by myself and I'm like, damn it, like this is some heavy weight. Like you don't really want to deal with all this stuff, but he has those times. There's no way he doesn't have those times. Like looking back and seeing himself, like, if he does what I did, go and watch the previous episode, earlier in the day and seeing how you're kind of being treated. And then throughout the course of the day, you're like, oh man, like, all right, so this is the way that the edit's going. I wonder how they're going to edit me next, So he was probably going through that at some point in time. But even after the fact, after I was voted out, it's kind of like you sit there and think to yourself, like, man, like, how the hell am I going to think about all of this stuff that transpired and either A, use it to my advantage, or B, just try to forget it. So there's so much other interpersonal stuff that goes on that he's more than likely going through.
Yeah. Well, we have Tim here who says wise words from Bruce. Well said, man. And we have Leslie,
Bruce, baby.
And we have Leslie who's watching from Nairobi, who I always love to throw Leslie in here. Leslie watches often live from Nairobi, so it's always exciting.
Yes, what's up, Leslie?
Yeah, Bruce. So we're Mr. International right now. And Sarah Woodward getting in here. Hi, Bruce. I love you so much. You have a passion for the game, with a smiley face. So this is like, we're going to get the Bruce haters in here eventually, but so far the chat is just loving Bruce. So that's always a good thing.
Oh, bring on the haters, baby.
This is the first time we've actually had you on here live, because for the tell-all, it was pre-recorded, so people couldn't comment as we were going. So interested to see how the comments go now, Bruce, because I we didn't really get to see that live last time. So this is good.
Yeah, this is good. I promise that I can't promise this. I might clap back at someone to give you a nasty comment. We'll see what happens.
Man, I was hoping for all positivity, but now that you've made that declaration, I kind of want to see I want to see some fireworks now.
This
And
is
my you'll see my wife's arm come into the thing and hit me. Like, stop talking. What are you talking about?
Oh man. Well, anyway, everybody, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're killing
That's
it
right.
on that front. Do all of that fun stuff. Go listen to Bruce's tell all, because there you can hear him talk all about 45 and all about what it was like to get that call after 44. Let's talk about some of these other tribes real quick, since we haven't really heard anything about them. Sega, Nami, what is your feeling on these two tribes as we head into what could be the final vote out before the merge?
You asking me?
Yeah, I want to know what you think.
Because
You have to tell me where you have players ranked yet. We'll save that, but I'm just curious what you think about these tribes.
I love it. I'm looking at Nami. Right, let's start with them. So Nami's got this thing, like this. I like I like to think about like when I used to go to church as a kid. You go to church and everybody's like, "Oh, kumbaya," and they're doing all that thing, and then all of a sudden, church is over, and you're out in the parking lot like this, bitch. I don't care about that. Like I'm seeing the potential downfall internally with Nami, because the personalities are so big. Like Kevin's personality is so big, and so big of a personality. I'm just like, wait a minute, like they got to come to a front somehow, some way. And then you have Venus. Venus is she's a spitfire, man. Like she's good. She's ready to spark up and be like, leave me alone, don't talk to me, get out of my face, like that kind of attitude. And I could see that potentially happening, and then just causing a huge rift. I hate that Randon's gone. Randon, I want to say he was probably the adult in the room, if you will. But that tribe is just it's. I think it's a little bit of a they have some adversity this week. The Tinder is gonna start sparking up, and then they're gonna explode.
Yeah. And Hunter seems like the outlier there, right? It seems like he's the one who's sitting over in the side, being quiet, trying to be quiet. But every time that they show them singing, he just looks like he wants to murder somebody. If he was Matt, Van Ertfeld back in the day, if he had his machete, like he'd just be sitting there sharpening it the whole time while they're singing.
Where's Hunter from?
Mississippi.
Hunter's used to this kind of singing. He's used to that. He's from down south. That's what they do down south. You'll be walking in the grocery market and you'll hear a lady singing in the grocery market. Like, he's used to seeing that. Thank you very much, Survivor Edit. You're making Hunter look like he's a little upset. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they're singing. Like, no, he's probably back there, finding something to clap along with him. Like, so
yeah, because he's also a high school teacher too. So it's not like he's like not used to childish behavior or like this upbeat levity that we get with all the music and singing. And I had brought this up when I was talking to Phil about last week. They Soto was singing and they just cut to him with his like arms and his hands and his head's down. It's like that shot could be from anything. Like that does not need to match to this singing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I might the weight on that for me is thin. Yeah.
I'm sure it does. Yes.
Yeah, and it's funny because like you think about Bruce, what was probably the face you made most on Survivor? It was just the stone cold like I'm staring at nothing. Yeah, exactly that. And so they get that shot of Hunter, and it's like he probably did that 23 hours and 30 minutes of that day, and the other 30 minutes when they're singing and clapping, he's probably doing whatever. It just is funny. That tribe does feel like there's about to be a little bit of a explosion, but we might never see them go to tribal. I mean, it might not happen, and then it would really come down to the mergatory mess, which we have seen in the new era. We've seen some of these people, some of these tribes that are sticking together, who then they finally get to the mergatory part of the game and they start going after each other. We saw it with Gabler. We saw it kind of with your tribe, and we definitely 100% saw it back in season 41 with that blue tribe whose name I can no longer remember.
Yeah, that's right. It's you like I said, you got to try. You look at them and you find out, and you can see that there's just something that's not right. Like a great psycho thriller movie that's just got you on the edge of your seat. Like that just doesn't seem right. Oh shit, what was that? Like, and I think that very well could happen this week, because I would love, not that I would love, but let's just say Hunter, who for this tribe, he's carrying them. Let's just say Hunter's like, yeah, I'm just gonna back off a second, and then let the others try to do their thing. They won't be able to do it without him. They really won't. Like he helped them out of 2 messes on the last, on the reward challenge and the immunity challenge. He helped them out of 2 messes, and what did everybody else do? You kind of didn't see anybody else doing anything. Like I don't even remember seeing Venus. Like I don't remember seeing her in any of the challenges doing anything like for those challenges. Not saying,
that. Yeah, she even said, I really wish when Brandon had to sit out, she said, I really wish that was you doing that challenge, not me. So
right. So yeah, that looks fun. Want to move on to Sega?
Yeah, let's hear about the real Kumbaya tribe. Let's hear about the vibes. Let's hear about them digging through underneath the poop tree, as we heard last week. That's where they were digging for Jem's box.
Let me tell you something. I'm looking at that, and I would love to see Jem pull an Omer. Just look at the camera and be like, just because she knows exactly what's going on, and then she's like, I'm gonna pin it on somebody else, and she's from what they've shown so far, she's doing a good job in trying to spin that and pin it on somebody else. I believe it was Tim, right?
That's who it's
trying to put it.
Thinking, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so this is all making sense by way of that, just for the fact that she's taken the heat off of herself. Like, go ahead, and if I remember correctly, the only way that she would get the clue is if they lose.
Yes,
but I don't see them losing because they are Kumbaya. I think that like with Bello, like we sat there and we had our conversations about who was doing what during whatever reward challenge or immunity challenge. Like I think they have that communication level where they might not lose at all. Like period. They're just going to go through and they'll have the numbers going into any kind of merge that they have, and hopefully they can get a Bello swap with majorities with one tribe. So
and sorry to interrupt, but like with Bello, it felt like there was something simmering beneath, right? That said, okay, eventually somebody's going to turn on somebody from this tribe. With Sega, do you see them voting each other out, or do you think they're going to go more the way of Reba and it's going to be everybody else who needs to vote out somebody from Sega?
I don't see them voting anybody out. Like I don't. Like I really see them definitely getting together, attacking as much as they possibly can. The Nami tribe, because Nami's going to have more numbers, because I really do think that Yanu's going to tribal again. Like, I have no problem with that. If they don't, well, I was thinking about this. If they make a swap, it should happen this week. Somebody's going to be an odd person. I'm just trying to figure those numbers out. But I really do think that they're just going to go in and the cohesion is in a way of how they're all going to talk about who they're going to get out. Because I don't see, like, I'm looking at my sheet, I don't see anybody on this list that's odd man out. Like, even with like Mo, like she literally was trying to jump, and they're all helping, and then they're all laughing together. It's not like they're laughing at her; they're just laughing together, like from what they showed in the edit. So they're a lot stronger, kumbaya wise, than any of the other tribes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're more likely, I think, to just stick together, especially going into a merge. They don't have to vote anybody out. Than Nami, who we've seen, like, I don't know, Venus is lingering there, just like she's ready to pounce. The second she gets any opportunity, there is going to be fireworks with those people in the Orange Tribe, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's ready.
It's building.
Yeah. Bruce, you're sitting there getting ready to watch a softball game. I don't know if that means you've coached. I don't know. I know you're in the Navy, right? You're in the Navy. And then on top of that, like, you were an athlete. Why could Mo not jump? What was going on here?
Man, oh my God. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and I'm like, she's just running and trying to like flail about. Like, I do that in my kitchen when I come running down the hallway. Like, I just do stupid stuff like that, like trying to be uncoordinated. Like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, here's the drill that I will put her through to help her jump. Like, I was going through that. Like, yo, you gotta get that kind of like one arm, one leg type jump, and like just work on that. And I wanted to jump through my television and coach her up. Yes, I coached for years. I coached for 11 years. At the youth level, high school level. Like, there were so many kids that I saw that came through that were so unbelievably bad, and I felt that age helped them, but I felt that I helped them as well by, showing them what to do and this, that, and the other. But man, like, there was, I'm surprised Tim didn't step up and be like, yo, like, hey, I'm older than you. Here's what we did back in the day. And he just kind of sat back and watched. And I was just like, oh, that's where I would have got in trouble. I was like, no, stop it. Do this.
You would have turned into Dad Bruce, which was the confessionals we kept getting the entire time of like, he's not being fun Uncle Bruce. He's being a little bit more serious. And then that would have been that moment, right? You would have just not been able to turn it off in that moment. I have an uncle who's a track coach, and he called me after and he was like, what the hell was she doing? And he's like in his 70s now. So he is all about like, high jumpers, pole vaulters. He's coached kids to, Olympic trials and stuff like that. And he was like, she would move her whole body and then her feet wouldn't leave the ground. And I was like,
I think that was the issue. She kept just flailing her body forward without getting any lift. And if I were coaching, and Bruce, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a coach, I would have started, hey, let's not run and jump. Let's just stand flat-footed, bend your knees, and just get some height off the ground and like start with baby steps. And then maybe eventually we can get into this running leap. But I mean, she was going for the home run right off the bat with like a big long jump. And I think we needed to start with baby steps.
Yeah. And then, of course, for them, and be hindsight being 2020, you go back and you look at what she actually had to do. All you had to do is just walk off the edge of that platform.
If she had to jump on the tee, she was in trouble.
Yeah, it wasn't the game. It was just jump off it.
Yeah, but remember what they probably would have done was, okay, if you can't do it, now you just got to swim out, and then somebody's got to go back and do your leg. So, but it's if anything, what they did during that point in time was bond a little bit more, and then they laughed. They laughed uncontrollably and had a good time with it, and that took up probably 15 minutes of their day. Because you have the whole rest of the day worrying about all this other stuff. So,
I loved Mo's confessional or not even a confessional, just telling them, she's like, it's been a lot of work even to get this amount of ups. And I was like, oh my goodness, her toes didn't leave the ground. And she's been working on that for afterwards, I was like, how high could I jump? And like, I just did like a little like toe thing. And I was like, I think I got higher than Mariah. And I just like kind of did like a little bit.
You're in your podcast seat and I
just got higher up.
Yeah, right? we're getting
that piece of paper. She got over that.
Yeah, barely. No, and this is the type of good fun, right? Because I feel like this has been a negative start for this season. I do feel like the community in general is very down on this season. I think people were I think Banu was very polarizing. I think more people leaned negative on him. There's been a lot of body shaming going on in the community, which is always a miserable experience. Yeah, there's been a lot of body shaming. There was one tweet that was going around yesterday that was awful that a lot of the cast was interacting with. And then luckily all of them were like, we're going to stop interacting with this. I hope you all reported.
Don't even bring it up. We shouldn't even I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm only bringing it up because
we don't want to give the trolls their attention.
Didn't say anybody's name, but so it's like there has just been so much negativity around this season right now that I do feel like the Sega tribe is bringing the much needed levity to this season.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, because even Jem having them all digging underneath the tree and doing all that, and we kind of get to wink and laugh, and you have Ben immediately say, I think somebody might have hid this, which I started thinking, is Ben going to get in trouble for having the brilliant idea that somebody might have taken it and thrown it over? Are they going to start looking at him saying, Ben, are you the one who did that? Because you really keep harping on that situation. So I'm enjoying the Sega tribe a lot, and I'm really appreciative of it, because there's been a lot of negativity and it's been predictable. And we've seen one person leave the game who actually voted when they left the game. And so there's a lot of frustration right now, but Sega has been a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, definitely. And to not to have too much on this negative track, but during my season, they were all there. They were there, and I am a glutton for punishment, so I was reading all of it, and I'm like, ha ha ha. But there were some that were just nasty, and I had a phrase, and people loved it. I don't mind telling people about it now. I had a phrase. It was blah blah blah. Like they would say something, I would say, "Be blessed" at the end of it, and then the community would come in and start ripping people up or just sending messages back like, "Bruce, you're awesome," and that and the other. My "be blessed" meant something completely different to me than what actually people read. That was the way for me to be able to interact, have them, the trolls look at it like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or he's not going to say anything back, and then they just disappear, which they did. But I had my own reason and my own meaning behind the "be blessed," and that's what helped me get through all the negativity. I didn't clap back at people. There was one guy that questioned my being married to a white woman. Like, who wouldn't have And I'm like, yeah, I wish you understood, blah, blah, and be blessed. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't even reply back to that. My wife was like, I want to. I'm like, simmer down, hon. Like, I don't do it because then you're gonna get me in a bad spot because I'll go nuts. But anyway, but it's like people just they bring their own negativity into somebody else's situation. They think that they're gonna make themselves feel better about who they are. But guess what? You're gonna send that. You're gonna hit that button, and then your life's still gonna be trash. So I don't tell you.
Yeah.
Just keep your thumbs to yourself.
And a lot of people right now, especially with like, on Twitter and stuff, you're not as secretive as you are. Even if you're behind one of these fake little images with your fake name and your fake bio, and you don't think any of your information is easily it's not that hard to figure out who people are nowadays. And even if we're not figuring it out, if it gets reported enough and things like that happen, if you say something really egregious, people find you nowadays. It's been proven over the last couple of years. So you have to be careful what you say on social media. And, there's a way to critique the show. And, Will and I we get the comment a little bit now, especially with Will coming in following up Alexa. Alexa was much more positive on a lot of stuff, or at least she would try to pretend to be a lot more positive, even when she was struggling. We are very critical of a lot of the things going on in the show, but we just see the potential for what it could be because we've seen some amazing seasons of Survivor. And that just frustrates us. But there's a way to be critical without being rude and without being mean and without being disgusting towards other people. And like, even with the Banu thing, it's like, did you hate Banu or did you hate the edit that was surrounding Banu? Because to me, it feels like it was the edit and it was predictable and it was boring as hell. And yeah, there were some uncomfortable things from Banu, but doesn't mean Banu's a bad person. Doesn't mean Banu's a bad casting choice. Like those are the things that get me. So Will, you're chomping at the bit. What do you got?
No, I agree with you. I think we are critical without being overly negative or rude to anybody. And hey, if you think we're wrong, you can, I guess, have that opinion. But I think, we are critiquing the show most of the time. And I think our issues with Banu is that it was just the amount and the quantity. Over 4 episodes, it was a lot of one character, and that is not Banu's fault. He's not there editing the episodes. He is who he is, and that's Banu, and that's what you get. And honestly, Phil, I agree with you. I think he's a phenomenal casting choice, and it didn't work out. He didn't start on the right tribe. He was with Jelinski. He was with Jess. He was with a tribe that kept losing, and sometimes the cards just fall that way. And like I said, he got the short end of the stick here with just being this over-the-top character that is kind of turning people off to the early part of the season. That's not on Banu. That's not on him at all.
And after season 38, Rick Devens came on our podcast, and Rick Devens said, "What did you want me to do? Say, oh no, I hate that I'm getting more screen time. Please don't put me on screen more." It was like, of course I loved being on screen as much as I was. And the people who hated that I was on screen so much, it's like, well, I'm sorry that I'm so damn charismatic. And it's just like,
and also Rick, when he's out there, it's not like they're editing these episodes live. I mean, he's just giving his confessionals and he's giving good stuff, and he's a focal point of the votes and the strategy of that season. So it's like, what is he supposed to do? Like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, we're almost a half hour in, so I'm going to read off some comments here just to get some people in, and then we're going to jump into these power rankings. We got Ty Driscoll, who doesn't like how they're editing his boy Tim. We'll talk about Tim in a little bit. Mr. Monkey 131, Bruce comes from the Xander School of Podcasting. Yes, if you have not listened to our Xander tell-all, he did it in the dark at night in his car somewhere between Florida and Chicago. I have no idea where. He just sat there for 2 hours and what a great tell-all that was. Sarah Woodward, it is her birthday Tuesday. She wants a shout out, Bruce.
Yo, Sarah, what's going on? Happy birthday to you, kid.
There you go. There's Bruce, and that's also his cameo plug right there, right? So if you want to go get a cameo from Bruce, that's what's going to sound.
Is it up here? Where can we put it?
Yeah, we can put it somewhere, right? Yeah, there you go. Put it on that piece of paper. Sarah also says Venus isn't winning, but she's going very far and will be kind of a chaos cast-like character, and I can't wait. We'll talk about Venus in a little bit. That could be exciting. Sarah also says it's between Hunter and Tevin for me as a winner, because Hunter is getting shown as a hero, building stuff, but leaving medicine to teach kids. And Tevin, from what I heard, has his negative scenes cut from the show that are shown in secret scenes. Bruce, you had you've experienced now the secret scenes, and Will and I talk about the secret scenes all the time. If it's in the secret scene, it's not relevant to the show because they'd be showing it if it was actually going to be something, right? Like pretty much everything, it's relevant, but it's not relevant to the story they're telling.
That is correct. Yes, because if you look at the secret scenes, you're getting the true personality of the people that are there. That's why it's a secret. Like even with any secret scene that I was in, most of them I was smiling. But then I look at the way that they show them and you're in a normal conversation. 90, in my mind, 90% of them are normal conversations about normal stuff. And that's the personality that you're with, because it's fortunate but unfortunate. Sometimes when someone gets a camera on them, they're like la da 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 da. Now here's the camera. Hey, so what's going on? What are we gonna do today? Like, so you get that, and that's kind of that's what helps them with their airtime. That's what helps them with their narrative of all right, we need to keep this person looking positive and likable. So they edit that stuff in and out.
Yeah. We have Michael Goryeb, who says, given the edit, I believe a woman is winning this season. Sarah Woodward, Green Tribe showing Charlie and Maria with the scene of Malcolm in the Knee. So that's something that seemed was a good chuckle talking about. That was the jumping scene. You have Sarah, who wants to know if you talked to Jake before jumping on this ranking, since Jake did last week and he had Banu in the last spot. Did you discuss with Jake to make sure that you were going to get everything right here?
I did not discuss with Jake. Jake and I spoke, but we didn't talk anything about doing the podcast. We talk at least, I don't know, once or twice a week. Like, we're just, hey, I call him up. He's like, he either calls me big man or old man, like one of the two. and I'm like, what's up, kid? Like, that's how our interactions start. But we talk once or twice a week.
I love that. And you guys you're not just doing recaps of the specialist podcast, like what we've done each week. You guys, that's not what you call about.
That's the center of conversation, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's
how we end our conversation and fall asleep to conversations of the specialists.
Yeah. We do have very pleasant voices. Quentin Riley says everyone's sleeping on Liz this season. Shadow the Cat 99 or Alan says Jem will be the winner, and Ice X Bruce for Survivor 2.25 second chances season. So you're gonna get on.
I like that. Second and a quarter chance. Bruce is the captain.
But let's.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're the only one who could be on that season, Bruce. So that is a lock. You win. Congratulations.
We should do a Brant seal, and it's 18 Bruces. It's just 9 Bruces versus 9 Bruces. We see which one wins.
The better of the Bruce.
I like it. But let's jump into these rankings, Bruce. I know you got your sheet. I mean, this is preparation. You're in a car. You got a whole printed out sheet. Do they have pictures on there too? Do you have notes, or is it just their names?
Ooh,
wow. Pictures. And it's got their ages and stuff. There's some ages on here. I'm like, wow, that did not know that Tim was. How old is Tim? 31. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to show the world something real quick. I am blind as a bat. I can't see anything in front of me. There we go. There's the old man.
Uh-oh, Bruce means business now.
But do you have the dangle on those too, so that you can hang them like around your neck and stuff, and like do all that?
I am not 90, dude. What are you doing?
Oh no! Now that you said that, I kind of want to get one of those. Phil.
Right? You could be like my grandma. My grandma loves that, dude, and she's 90. She's 90. So there you go.
So the serious part, when I put these on, I start having a conversation. I'm just gonna go like this and start pointing, and I'm gonna look like a professor from Harvard or Yale.
Yeah, I like that. All right, who you got at 1?
I got at 1. I have Tevin. I really do. I think that, with the secret scenes and showing his kind of strong personality, and then how they're now editing him in to be, happy, positive, go lucky. There's something to be said about that he's definitely making the merge. But I have him sitting at number 1 at this point.
Love it. Will, where do you go?
I'm gonna go.
Like this. Now Will's chewing on his glasses. I like this. I gotta go find mine. I got him in the other room.
Do the things I start.
Yeah.
We could be the biggest asshole podcast, just sitting here chewing on the end of our things, acting like we're better than everybody. I gotta go get my glasses.
That's right. We'll just chomp at the glasses.
I wish I had my smoking pipe in my jacket. That would be great.
Right.
Maybe just swap out for a monocle too. That could be that could be good.
If you could hold a monocle in place, I'd be very impressed for the whole podcast. That'd be good. That'd be very good.
Don't threaten me with a good time, Phil.
I'm telling you.
Get one for the next podcast. I'm gonna go with Tip at number 1. I actually do need to put my glasses back on so I can see. But yes, Tip at number 1. She's got the idol. If the Purple Tribe loses a 5th consecutive immunity challenge, Tip, I feel like, just chooses who goes home at that point. I think she's got Q on one side, and they can work together to get Kenzie, or she can work with Kenzie and say, hey, Q is going to be a big threat heading into the merge. We've already been identified as a duo, so maybe I'll just take Q out. Who's looking at Tip? And even if they do look at Tip, she'll sniff it out, and she's got the idol. So I feel great about Tiff advancing in the game. So I got her at number 1. I think
Yeah,
I've had her number 1 every week ever since. I mean, she got the idol in what, the first
every week.
episode?
Well, you've had her at number 1 every week. You're literally you're Michelling Tiffany here. What I did with Michelle, you're now doing with Tiff, where you're just putting her at 1. And I hate agreeing with you, but I also have her at 1 because if Yanu loses, you're 100% right. It's Q or Kenzie, because they're both going to go to Tiff. And I think the interesting conversation that we're going to have, and I assume all three of us are going to be having this much later in our rankings, but is who would Tiff choose in that situation? That's going to be a really interesting point of conversation. And I'll tease that for all of you to hang around, because I'm not going to have that conversation now, because that's going to spoil the end. So I have Tiff at number 1 as well. Great spot.
Copycat. You always copy me, man. I got to let you go first next time.
She's also being shown to be quite like I can't think of a different word other than boss, but like a boss with the way she's talking about everything, the way she's handling everything. I did like the no nonsense approach that she took to Banu, where she was like, I am willing to talk to you. I'm willing to have this discussion, but you are not like, I'm not going to deal with you like this in this kind of pathetic state. I mean, kind of is not even the right word, in this pathetic state. And she just was not going to handle it. And I think that's kind of been her mantra this entire early portion of the game. She's pissed about losing. She's pissed about these different things. It did look like she was going to be willing to maybe vote Kenzie out last week. We'll never really know if that's the truth, but in where Randon got voted out or where Randon got medevac, it seemed like she might have been willing. So Tiff, though, feels like she's in control. If the winner is coming from purple, she's who I think is the winner from purple. Q could have some longevity. Kenzie could have some longevity, but Tiff is the person who we've spent the most time with, who I feel like could also win. And Will, who was my preseason winner pick?
Well, I don't know. You had like 3 different ones, so you kind of spread all over.
My official winner pick was Tiff. If you
now it's Tiff
order prediction
out of the 3.
Where did you put Tiff, Will, in your boot order prediction?
I think I must have had her as first boot.
Yeah, you did.
You had her as
ooh.
So
Bruce, Will did a very good boot order predictions. You have to go watch what he did after I put mine out. It's Will put a lot of thought into it.
Spicy.
So yeah, we both have her at number 1. Bruce, you want to go at your number 2? Do you have Tiff up here, or do you not yet?
Not yet. For my number 2, I put Maria. I put Maria. I put her because she's got the mom edit. You know, she, according to what I'm looking at it, she's 48 years old. She's got the mom edit, and she just like literally with the last reward challenge, the way that they all huddled around her, they were, like we said, the kumbaya. There's lots of kumbaya. They love this woman, you know, and she makes them laugh. She talks to all of them. You know, reminds me of Julie. But she's very, very safe. She's going to make it extremely far in this game. I'd be very confident to say she's going to make it into the final 4. She'll make it to fire making.
Wow.
Definitely. Wow. Because she has that. She's a freaking beast. These challenges mean nothing to her. She's done well in all of them except for the stupid ring toss. I always, I'm like, all right, look how far Carolyn made it, and he struggled with that as well. So,
yeah. All right, Maria. I mean, I like Maria and Tevin both, but because we haven't seen either of those tribes go to tribal, that's what just keeps me a little hesitant to put them at like 1 and 2. Although Tevin last week was shown as seeming like he was going to take over the Nami tribe, and it was Soda Gotta Goda. That was the big thing there.
Yeah, Soda Gotta Goda.
With Maria, you're right. I mean, it has just been okay. And even when it comes to who should we make our alliance, it's Charlie's Angels, but it's Charlie and Maria. Or they're talking about, hey, maybe we could get Tim on our side because Maria, you're close with Tim, right? So it seems like she's kind of the engine there. She's the cog that's, she's making it all spin. So I do really like Maria's spot.
And I'm with Bruce, and Bruce, I'm not copying you. I know that.
Yes, you are.
Some people do that on this podcast, so we got to watch out for it. But I do have Maria at number 2 as well, and I'll go with my 3rd pick here. Also, I have Charlie at 3. I think that tribe is in a really good spot. I actually don't see them losing. I feel pretty good about everybody there. I think it's either going to be another purple loss, or we're going over to Nami, and we see the fireworks explode there. But Charlie and Maria are the center of power on that tribe. I feel like they get to choose where the vote goes. So I have Maria at 2, Charlie at 3. I feel good about where they are at in that tribe.
Not to roast you a little too much here, Will. What was your top 3 last week?
Was it the same 3?
The exact same 3. Did you
Well, 'cause
put any
no-
effort into this one or no?
I did. I did. I didn't even realize it was the same 3, but the thought process is the same. And Phil, on our recap podcast, what did we say the entire recap? Well, it was a rerun. It was the same.
What?
We saw the same episode back to back. Episodes 3 and 4 were the same story, the same narrative, and so my rankings are the same minus Banu at the bottom. No, there's definitely a mix-up coming, but I mean, yeah, why wouldn't I put those 3 people up there, Phil?
And I don't think we're getting a tribe swap, right? Like, it seems like since we only have 1 episode left, we're just gonna, like, I'm assuming Mergatory is gonna happen at 13. That tends to be where it happens. So I feel like they're just gonna do this episode. It's gonna go as planned, and then we're gonna move on. So there's no reason really to overthink
unless Jeff wants to keep it unpredictable for the players and really keep them on their toes, maybe they would do a tribe swap here and then merge 1 episode later at episode 7 instead of episode 6. But Phil, we've talked about this to death. It seems like they do the same thing every season. Yeah. No one's kept on their toes.
Somebody said something about like you're a dreamer, but not the only one. Will, I mean, that's pretty much where you're at right now. That's what it feels like. You know, you're dreaming.
I'm a dreamer. I'm dreaming.
You're dreaming. You're dreaming. I will go my number 2, man. I'm going with Liz. I love Liz. Yeah, love Liz's spot. I'm a huge Liz person right now. I feel like on that tribe, they are Soda Gotta Goda, and Venus is over there just ready to strike and kill everybody on the island. It's going to be great. I mean that in a survivor way, not like an actual murder way. It's great. And I think that Liz comes out of this thing scot-free. If Tevin starts going after Soda, he's got to get Hunter onto his side. And Hunter had the great confessional last week of, I want Soda to go because she's my biggest competition to be Tevin's number 1. That is A+ survivor, as Bradley Clyhe once said. And so I would love to see this tribe go to tribal to see how it would play out. But Liz's name is not coming up. She might have actually helped herself so much by being so forthright with how much money she makes and being cocky and being kind of an unassuming cocky, because you don't expect somebody like Liz to come out there and be so arrogant. It's working for her. If Venus plays an idol, let's say she goes finds Randon's idol and then she plays it, she's not taking out Liz. She's taking out Hunter, Tevin, or Soda. And they're looking at Soda or they're looking at Venus. And maybe you say, oh, man, Hunter's too threatening and we're right before a merge. Or Tevin's too threatening. We're right before a merge. You know who's not threatening right before a merge? Liz. Queen Liz, second place. I think she's in a phenomenal spot right now. Bruce is making a face.
I think it's bold, but I hear your arguments. I'm not totally off of Liz. It just seems like number 2 is pretty damn high, but okay.
I mean, that doesn't mean I think it's the second best chance to win. She doesn't have the second best chance to win. I just
why not? Hey, why not? I have no idea who's winning this season, by the way. Like,
this is tough.
I got no clue. My read is I have no idea. And when I do think I have an idea, I'm usually wrong. So I'm not even gonna attempt it here.
Where was it? Here we go. Tim, it's Will's first season back podcasting. He's a little rusty. So was
that in response to me having Tip as my first boot?
It was to you putting Tip, as your first boot. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
yep.
Which if you watch the video, I think you'll see why.
Yeah, watch mine, then watch Will's, and you'll understand. Bruce, who do you have at number 3?
All right. So at number 3, my worst Jeff impression. I have Tiff. I have Tiff at number 3. She is so freaking, she is so strong. I would have loved to have played with her because it would be so easy to be like, what are your thoughts? And like her thoughts were just straight out of the box, 110% emotion, passion, thought process, like all of it. But then just call you on your shit. Like she literally is so like, we need more people in our lives like that. But she's just like, okay, this is what it is. You know, when Banu was doing his first thing at the tribal, she's like, yo, the block is hot. Like, and I know, I'm sorry. He was like, the block is what? Like, it's hot? What does that mean? Like, in her, like, in knowing who she is just from watching the show and the people that I interact with in my life, like, I gravitate towards those people that are like, yo, the block's hot. Yo, calm down. And then get up off your feet. I'm not talking to you like this. Like, you know, her having those straightforward conversations. And even when she was talking to, I believe she was talking to Q, because Q wanted to get Kenzie out. And she's like, the game has always been told to people, you got to be, always say yes, always say yes. She was like, I don't know. In that, in Q's mind, should be like, he'd simmer down a little bit, but he doubled down on that. But she's just unapologetically just doing the things that she needs to do to make herself known in this game and stay strong with her, with her position. And I'm all about that, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Tiff feels like Will said, we don't know who's going to win this season because Yanu just keeps losing. So they're getting a lot of screen time. But like I said earlier, it's like Tiff kind of feels like that person where if somebody from Yanu wins, it's probably her. And
and maybe that's why we're seeing so much of this tribe. We talked about it last week. Like, why do we need to spend this much time with the folks on the purple tribe? Like, even though they're going to tribal council, we can still go to green and orange more and more. But maybe our winning story is coming from Tiff and this Yanu tribe. So definitely a possibility.
Only thing I'm asking of
Tiff, front running, I think one of the front runners for sure.
Yeah. The only thing I ask of Tiff is, obviously the season's over, it's taped, this and the other. Every single time when she's on that mat, before a challenge, after a challenge, her arms are crossed. And I understand them being crossed after the fact because they've been losing everything, but her arms are crossed. It's kind of like a shut off emotion. So other tribes are seeing that. Other tribes can see like her body language. Just I would say, no matter how you're feeling, just uncross your arms. Like put them in front of you, like put your hands like this in front of you down in front. But when you cross your arms, it's like, you're having a little bit of a temper tantrum. And so if someone reads body language like that, you're going to see that. So
they read it as
I'm totally with you on that. I don't read a lot of body language, but I am in the boat of an anti-arm cross guy. And when I'm with people, like in a social situation, like at work or at a bar or something, and I see someone standing with their arms crossed, I try to say, hey, can you hold this for me for a second? Or like, hey, what's going on? And like try to, because it's like, if you stand like this, it's like you're just, all your energy is like inward and you're not putting that out to whatever situation you're in. And it's usually people who aren't having a good time or the best time. And so I think, yeah, I'm with you. I didn't notice that Tiff was doing that, but it's a good call out there. Don't cross your arms, people. Be open to the world. Okay?
Well, the way you're talking, we have to get Kendra on the podcast now so she can explain to us like the vibes and stuff that people are getting off. Because the way you were talking right there, it felt like you were definitely going.
And again, I don't really I couldn't pick up on anything else other than that. It's such a clear tell if someone's like, if they don't feel comfortable or they don't feel warm or welcome to a situation. Arms crossed is like, and sometimes all I notice myself doing that subconsciously, and it's usually not when I'm like, in a great spot. So yeah, that's just pro tip for everybody. Uncross your arms.
I only do it when I'm trying to make my biceps look huge because I just like push them out.
That is a good one. You could use it to stand with some authority if you're like puffing your chest out. Like crossing your arms like this.
Even you doing it like that, Will, didn't work as authority. I didn't take it seriously. Yeah, you're good.
No, okay.
You got more of a b-boy stance. You look to the side, like just finish dancing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Kendra Matheson says, "Never cross your arms." The first thing I was told on the first day of my customer service job in 2004 changed my life.
Changed her life. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so. Beautiful.
There you go. Okay, my number 3. I have Gem. I'm surprised nobody said Gem yet. Gem, man, she's got it. She's got the idol, or she's going to get the idol. She doesn't have it yet, but I think she's going to end up getting it. She's got her whole tribe on a wild goose chase. She got them digging through Survivor 43's poop, as Carla told us, all on the internet, which is disturbing and sad and frustrating. But here we are, and I think that she's just in a good spot. They're not looking at her as the one who would potentially be doing this. I feel like she's part of the Charlie's Angels. She might not be at the top of it. She's more useful in challenges than Mariah, which is no shock to anybody. I'm not insulting Mariah there. She knows. And I think that she just has a really good social game going right now where people aren't looking at her as a threat to win. Gem could end up being the winner of this season, and I would not be surprised at all.
I mean, she had the winner quote in the premiere. I forget what it was, but it stuck out like a sore thumb. She does end up winning. It was not very, very well obscured there in the premiere.
And Will always says I talk about this too much, and that's fine because I like to talk about it too much. She had the second most confessionals last week behind just Banu. So even though Yanu was it felt like the whole episode, and Kenzie Q, Tiff, and Banu were eating up a lot of screen time, Jem ended up with more confessionals. So Jem is getting a good amount of screen time. She has an advantage, or she will have an advantage, or at least she has an advantage over the rest of her tribe. And her tribe's not looking at her as the person to be worried about. So I'm in on Jem. I got Jem at number 3.
Okay.
Bruce, you got a 4.
First off, I do want to apologize. I had to pop a piece of gum because I got this tickle in my throat, and I muted myself a million times. I'm dying over here. I caught I was like, dying in the car. Number 4, I have Hunter. I have Hunter at number 4. His physical prowess, his ability to. It seems like he's just doing more listening than anything else. From the edit that we're getting. I think those two things are going to propel him to get pretty far in this game. And I think that he's in a very good spot because, without him, Orange would not be winning anything. I really don't. I'm really confident in that. They would not be winning anything. It's just you lost Randon. I'm thinking about strength-wise and what we've seen in the past. And Survivor just tends to be that thing. It's the same archetype or that archetype, whatever, that people like. They're not using that anymore. Yes, they are, because I can look at all these people and I can place everyone from 44 and 45 to every single person that's here.
Mm-hmm.
So without him, they're not winning as much as they currently are now.
Yeah.
Like even think about like the last immunity challenge. Like he jumped off of that tower and Jeff's like, wow, he almost landed on the platform. Well, thinking about it, that would have sucked for him. So that would have hurt like hell.
Yeah.
But like nobody else is even close. Like Q, he's a D1 athlete and he's jumping in the water holding his nose. Like, come on, man, just jump in the water. That's no knock on you, Q. I love you, brother, but I'm like, I saw that. I'm like, stop it. But he's extremely strong. He's brought a lot to the tribe. He's built stuff for the tribe. They're going to be extremely happy whenever he does go, and they can still have that chair that he built, or the bed, sorry, that he built. But he's bringing more to them than what they're actually showing on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, Hunter's in a good spot. And again, I feel like he's one of those that the fans can easily attach to. He's good at challenges. It's very old school feel, even though, like you said, Bruce, there is that archetype on every season. But yeah, I am very much I'm very into what Hunter's doing. Will, you got him at 4 too? You copying Bruce?
I agree. And again, I'm not copying Bruce. I think Bruce has a copy of my list over here that he's looking at. I have Hunter at number 4 as well. Many reasons that Bruce said I totally agree with. I also want to add that we haven't actually seen that much. It's honestly like we're getting most of Hunter in the challenges. Like he's doing the rings. He's always the guy at the end. He's doing the basketball shot. He's, carrying people and moving the puzzle pieces and all that. And he is a challenge beast. We haven't heard a ton of him at camp. Like we've gotten little things here and there. And I do feel like if he was going to go home pre-merge in episode 5, we would have gotten more of his story at this point. And hey, maybe it's a 90-minute episode and they can fully tell that. And we're being completely fooled, Bruce, but I don't think it's going that way. I think he and Tevin are in a really good spot. So I have Hunter at 4, and then I have Tevin at 5. I have that duo back to back there. I think if that tribe loses, they will be the decision makers on we're going to flip on Soda, or maybe we want to keep her as a number, or we're going to go take out Venus or Liz or something like that. But I think those two are going to be the ones driving the vote, just like I think Charlie and Maria on the Green Tribe are going to be doing that. So, those are my first 5.
Hunter has the least amount of confessionals, tied with Tim. They both only have 6 through this many episodes.
It's not a lot. We don't really know him that well.
His are just evenly dispersed. Hunter went 2-1-2-1, whereas Tim went 4-2-0-0. And somebody in the chat brought up, it was Quentin Riley here. If we're saying the editing is similar to last season, Brando got no confessionals in episodes 3 and 4 and went out in 5. Tim didn't get any in episode 3 or 4. Based on signs, they might be pointing at him. Will's winner pick.
I don't know. See, I think we look like that. They're not putting together the season like, okay, let's give them this many and this many and then that many. And then this is our formula. It's just like the confessionals are a byproduct of what's happening, what they need to show, and not the other way around. They're not like lining up the confessionals for any reason. But that is a very astute observation. So Thank you, whoever commented that. That is interesting.
Yeah, but even with that observation, with I'm just sorry, just to hop on that. The Brando thing. Brando I think he only went because of the tribe swap.
Yeah.
That was the only reason why. Like,
yeah, he got swapped.
And, you know, I don't know. I'm still actually a little, even though, you know, in watching the show and finding out like what Brando was like, all right, Bruce has got to go. At one point in time, when I found out that Brando was voted out, I was pissed. Didn't show it outwardly, but I was pissed. Like, what the hell? Like, what'd the kid do?
Mm-hmm.
You know. Anyway, sorry. Wanted to just
make
my feelings known about that.
I like hearing that stuff.
I do too. That's like was it Pascal with Gabe when Gabe was voted off Marquesas, which is what Will and I and Blake are putting out for our patrons starting on Monday. We're doing a whole that's tomorrow. Oh my God. It'll be a little bit later in the day. We're doing a whole Marquesas over the next month. We'll be talking about him for our $20 patrons twice a week. Marquesas, baby. So get ready for that. And you can watch Pascal get mad at them for voting off Gabe, which is similar to how Bruce felt about poor young Brando, who I just saw yesterday. He was doing a live stream and had himself muted for a full minute where he was just talking and thought he was telling everybody all this stuff, and he was not. So love Brando. I'll jump in with my 4 then, since I'm behind you all a little bit. I am going to finally go Charlie and Maria at 4 and 5. You know, I'm not much lower on either one of them than I know, Bruce, you haven't said Charlie yet, but Maria, especially, we're all feeling good about Maria. And Charlie, I feel like Charlie is very likable. And even though sometimes I get a little concerned for players when they're going towards a merge, sometimes the stronger guys, I don't think anybody's really looking at Charlie as a stronger guy or a stronger player. So if Sega were to lose, I don't think they're going to say, oh man, we got to get rid of Charlie before the merge, or he's just going to steamroll all of us. That's not how they're looking at it. So I feel like Charlie's in an okay spot. I put him 1 spot ahead of Maria. Maria, I have at number 5, and I'm feeling pretty good about Maria and Charlie's game. If they're giving us the Denise and Malcolm quotes and they're not playing Dodo music behind it, I got to assume they're going to go pretty damn far together.
Yeah.
Who you got at 5?
I have Q at 5.
Wow.
I have Q at 5. Reason being, again, you know, I'm of the world of old school and, you know, strength wins, strength. They haven't merged yet, so there's no need to try to look at getting out the stronger players at this point in time. The only way that I would eat crow on this is that if something happens, they have a reward challenge and Q starts losing his mind again, vote me out because, you know, they lost the ability to have a sandwich. Like, that would be the only thing that would probably make, in my mind, with his tribe, make him, you know, the pariah or the bottom part of the 3 that are remaining. Because if you think about it, Tiffany was even looking at him before, like, hey, bro, like, seriously, cut it out with that shit. Like, you're whining because we didn't win and it's all your fault, blah, blah. No, it's not your fault. It just is what it is.
I kind of forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up. That kind of got swept under the rug just because we've got so much of Banu. But what was that, episode 3?
Episode 3, yeah.
That he's like, you know what, just send me home because I didn't deliver. And yeah, I completely forgot about that.
And the one thing so I'm leaning towards Q being the one who would go home here because the merge is coming, and maybe they say, let's just get rid of Q so he can't dominate the post-merge. It's really just Tiffany who's making that choice. But the one thing that they really made an effort to show us in these last couple episodes is Banu was telling the other tribes that Tiffany and Q were really close. And if Banu is seeing that and Tiffany is getting mad about that and Q is getting mad about that, then that means it's true, right? So I feel like maybe that is a hint to us, but hopefully I'm just hoping Yanu just doesn't lose this week. That's what I'm hoping. I'm just hoping they don't lose this week. I do not have Q or Kenzie as my bottom person this week. There's a little spoiler, just because I am a hopeful person and I'm hoping that we're going to get a different tribe going to tribal council this week and we'll have a little bit of fun with it. So that's where I stand on that. What else?
You want my 6? Because you guys already threw out your 5 and 6s.
Yeah, and now your daughter's baseball game softball game, just started. So I know you got to you're gonna be watching.
Did you hear the national? No. Listen, it's
a good rendition. It was a good rendition.
Could you hear it?
A little, very, very faintly. I just
I almost started to salute my shirt.
Yeah.
Hopefully
So,
we don't get a copyright strike because of that. Hopefully that one's
I think
okay.
we're okay, man. That was a very bad thing for the national.
yeah, but
anthem.
that was also Whitney Houston. Nothing to worry about that.
That's the long one, man. People do not like that.
Ooh, I love that one. That brings
Coaches and
tears.
softball coaches don't though. It's too long.
Oh man,
Throws off the rhythm and timing.
tough shit. It was the best one. All right, so for number six, I got Charlie. I got Charlie sitting at number 6. Reason why I have him there is because he is that unassuming kid. I've not seen really much of anything. Like, it showed his brilliance and how smart he is with music. Um, they've not really showed anything in my eyes anyway that he's overly strategic. He more than likely is, but I'm thinking that he kind of maybe dumbed that down a little bit. And plus he's also, a New England guy, so he actually lives about 45 minutes from me, closer to Jake, but he's just overall good kid. He has the in with multiple people. Him sitting there just going through that music with Ben, like, that was cool, and that solidified those two. And just kind of looking at the way Ben's interacting with everyone, Charlie's getting that information. No matter what's going to happen, Charlie's going to get that information from someone, definitely from a Ben. But that's why I think that he's in a good spot, because he's not ruffled any feathers as of yet. They haven't showed any of it. And his however strategic that he wants to be, I don't want to say dumbing it down, but it's not being showed that it's being overly addressed and sent out to the world.
Mm-hmm. And you and Jake are just so easy, man. Jake had Charlie as his winner pick because he's from right there. So it's nice. You're sticking with him there. I love that. Trevor, the therapist, says, when has a player thrown out the name of a pop star for no reason while jumping off a platform ever? I love that has given Charlie so much hate. It's so funny.
Yeah, everyone's like hating on him for that. And then he actually had a response. I'm not on social media much, but I did see his response was like, hey, they tell you to have fun when you jump off and say something or do something. So he just yelled it out, and now he's getting all this hate. It's like, chill out, people.
He said it was because he was trying to do an ode to the 4-year-old virgin with Kelly Clarkson. So he yelled Taylor Swift.
Yeah, he's having fun with it.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
I love it.
I love that. Good for him.
Bruce, we've asked everybody else this question as we've gone through. Is there a band that you would have been able to out-duel Charlie with?
Oh, geez. Probably not, like, songs wise, by naming the songs. But when it comes to singing different songs, I would have been like Jodeci. Any of the 90s R&B would have sung my brains off, and they would have been like, because they're all young, who, what? And I would have just dominated that way. But anything else, no. Like, I saw that, I was in awe. Like, I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Like, how the hell is he rattling all this stuff off?
Yeah, he came out there with like a little list in his pocket. He just didn't tell anybody. He'd been walking around with it in his pocket all day, memorizing it, and then saying, "All right, Ben, let's go head to head."
It's so scripted. They probably had a big thing behind him, just rattling, writing names down.
Yeah. He's got the teleprompter up there.
That happens a lot out there, Bruce. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Somebody even just yesterday said to me, so when did they get you your sandwiches? Like, what the hell are you talking about? No, they don't give us anything. Nothing. It frustrates me when people still think to this day.
Frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating.
It's like we did not have sandwiches. I swear. I would have loved a sandwich, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Will, where do you go at 6?
I am going to Gem. This is actually like number 6 right here. This is kind of where I'm now below the line of like the 5 people I already said I think are super safe. But like, I still don't feel that great about Gem. Like, I have her at 6. Because look, I think if her tribe loses, she can go find the idol and everything will be fine. But there was just something weird about that scene with her kind of like planning the clue and then all digging and like looking at each other. And it wasn't clear to me that this was like some smart genius move by Gem. At least the show didn't like really drive that home. It kind of left it up to the viewer to be like, is this a good move? Is this smart? Because at the end of the day, this could come back and bite her in a number of ways. It could be that they figure out somehow that she was the one that planted it there, and they want to then target her and blindside her without her knowing. So she get the idol, great, and then she doesn't play it, and they vote her out. So that's an option. Or it's like, okay, great, we got everyone to think Tim has the idol. Great, okay, we lost the challenge. We're gonna go to tribal. Let's not vote Tim because he has an idol. So now you're actually protecting Tim by putting this idol doubt on him. So I still think overall it was positive, and then I do think she will end up with the idol. It does seem like she has shifted the suspicion off her. Like I do, that's what I think. But there is that like 10% chance that it comes back to bite her. So I still have her quite high here, just not as high as everybody else. So I got her at number 6.
What do you mean everybody else? Bruce still hasn't said the name Gem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Bruce hasn't said Gem yet.
Okay.
He just gave you a stern head shake. If you're not nervous, you should.
Bruce is probably more on my page. Wait, Phil, didn't you have her at like number 2 though? You had her like 3. So you had her like pretty damn high, and let's just cool our jets a little bit. Good. Is what I'm saying.
Very good point about if people get worried Tim does have the idol, then you actually take the target off of his back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's not even necessarily a good move. Like even if it works, it's like, yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, creating doubt isn't good when you're the one who is in the power position. Number 6, I have Hunter. You all talked about Hunter enough. I don't need to say anything about Hunter. Got him at 6. Good at challenges. He's like a cheat code. He's really, really good. Good for him. Love it.
Good for him. Love it.
Love it. Moving on. Bruce, Trevor the therapist wants to know, where do you keep your unplayed immunity idol?
Trevor, you can kiss my. I'm looking. No, I'm kidding. No, listen. I am so mad. I'm gonna give a quick story. I got voted off. I sat in the little thing, and I dangled it. It said, "Cute, isn't it?" Blah blah blah. Put it back in my bag. They put me in like this little tent. I sat there. There's a table and a chair. I put my head down on the table and chair. I fell right asleep. Like literally within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they come in. They wake me up. Bruce, we're gonna need to get the idol and the shot in the dock from you. I'm like, okay, great. And I give it to him. Boom. I didn't go home with it. I wish I could have kept it. Like I've been trying so hard to find someone to make that thing for me again. I think I found someone that can do it for me. But it's like, everybody asks me, "Where's your idol?" Like Jeff's got it in his back pocket. I don't know. I don't have it.
It's gonna be on Ghost
but thank
Island
you for bringing that up.
Part 2.
Right?
Yeah. Ghost Island Part 2, where they have a giant head of yours made out there. And then you can maybe even also be like a coach out there of just play your damn idol.
It's a combo of Island of the Idols and Ghost Island, and it's just Bruce's head.
It's just Bruce's head.
Let's make it happen. Let's go.
Better than 2.25 second chances.
True. That would be. That'd be
closer. By the end, we'll have the theme dialed in.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're figuring it out. This will be our off-season content in the summer, is how we're figuring out whatever season we're making up on this podcast here.
I love it.
All right, so Bruce, who do you have at 7?
7. I have Kenzie at 7.
So you're really confident in this purple tribe. You have all of them in your top 7.
Yes, I do. I think something's going to happen. I think something's going to happen where there's going to be a shift of some sort. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out the numbers in my head as to how it's all going to make sense. Like, who's going to be sitting out? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure things out, but I have them in my top 7 because I really don't think that they're going to be going home this week. I think that they're going to win this week. Like, think about it. Banu made a mistake in having to swim back to the platform because he went to the side and didn't go over and jump off the top of the platform into the water. He went to the side. So even that might have helped them. That might have given them the 3 seconds that they needed in order to pull it out and win that challenge and not have to go. So the variables are pretty much gone from the tribe. Jess, I love Jess. Banu, in Zelensky, like, now we're looking at strength-wise, and they have, strong competitors on that tribe. So, but with Kenzie, she's, she has an eye for the game. She has kind of like no nonsense stuff, as you saw with Banu. Like, she had enough, but she's if we took a look at how Tiff could go either way, north or south, I think that Kenzie can convince Q, if anything, Kenzie could convince Q to get rid of Tiff and just try to get it so that she doesn't have to use the idol and protect herself. Like I really do think that could be a possibility as well.
That'd be
So
crazy.
even though I have them at 5 and 3 with Tiffany and Q, Kenzie can just come in and convince and blow that all up on me.
Yeah. We have JD Robinson here, future podcast guest. I promise he's coming, guys. The little tent you go to after being voted off is the worst place on earth.
That's got to be bad. That's got to be really bad.
It's got to be rough.
Yeah.
It has to be
there
rough.
were lots of emotions that were expelled at that moment in time.
Yeah. During your nap time that you had.
Yeah.
I am lower on Kenzie and Q. I do not have them yet. I like that Bruce didn't hedge here. He's just like, I'm going all in. I'm gambling. Purple ain't losing, and I like that mentality.
I mean, we like the optimism. We do not want to see Purple go to Tribal Council again. I think we can all agree.
We do not.
No. We don't need another Lulu.
We don't. I mean, even Lulu went into the merge though with.
They went with 3.
Yeah, they went with 2. That was it.
I'm talking the swap. The swap was 3.
Yeah, because Sean had gone before the merge. Yeah.
Yeah, because Sean was gone. That's crazy. Well, who do you have at 7?
I'm surprised you haven't said this person's name yet.
Oh, he's my number 7 too.
So it's worrying me a bit, but I got Ben at number 7.
I got Ben at 7.
And do I think Ben can go? Sure. There's ways that he goes home. But I don't know. He's kind of a middling, like it seems like everyone likes him for now. That's our Kumbaya tribe. He's the vibes guy. So I think you want to keep Ben around. It seems like he's in good with everybody. But hey, if that tribe loses and they freak out and they're like, we got to get rid of somebody, and they're looking, hey, we're going to merge. Ben's super, likable. He's super social. We're worried about him making connections once we, start interacting with the other 2 tribes. They could maybe turn it on to him. So that's why I got him down at 7, but not all the way like at the bottom. Because I think he's probably good. So
yeah, I have him at 7 also. That's where I had him last week. The only thing that concerns me with Ben is that he's the one who keeps saying, maybe somebody already found this and they just threw this over here. And it just worries me that, sometimes if you keep saying that stuff, people want to pin it on you. I don't think that'll ultimately end up happening.
Whoever smelt it dealt it, right?
It's kind of, thank you.
I mean,
Bruce like that one. Bruce is
in the idol sense. I mean, that is kind of, you keep saying, I bet someone played.
I'm 12 years old again. Whoever smelt it dealt it.
Yeah, that's it.
I like that. And Will, you officially have hit the love level that he said earlier. He loves Alexa. He likes Will. Now he loves Will.
Okay, good. It was the fart joke that put me over. Okay.
That's it. You got a whoopee cushion in your back pocket that you can make go off any second now. Bruce would forever be indebted to you. Let's go. So we're halfway through. We finally made it halfway. Everybody, if you're still watching this far in, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that fun stuff. We appreciate it. Love you all over on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff too. Leave us some reviews if you haven't done so yet. If you've been listening all season, if you just like Bruce, just let us know. Just give us a like because you like Bruce. I mean, we'll take credit.
Don't like us. Like Bruce.
Yeah. We'll take the credit here. We're into the back half now. So, maybe a little bit more danger for some of these people. I don't know. I finally throw out Bruce's number 1, which is Tevin. I think Tevin's in control over on that tribe. I just worry that with that tribe, it feels like every other episode, they are just switching who they think is the target, who they're worried about, whose name's getting thrown out. Venus is thrown out. Hunter's name one week, then Hunter's not getting brought up at all. Soda's getting brought up by Tevin after it looked like Tevin and her were best buddies. I mean, it's just all over the place. So finally, I put Tevin here at number 8. Will's laughing. Will, what's going on?
I'm looking up some future jokes from Bruce. So
good. And you're already laughing.
There's some good ones. There's some good ones in here.
I thought I said something wrong because you just started dying laughing. And instead, it's like child jokes.
Yeah, no.
I'm a fiend for a good dad joke.
Yeah. Whoever said the rhyme did the crime. So I might be guilty here.
I love that.
I love that.
Thank you. Anyway, Bruce, who do you have at number 8?
Number 8, I have Gem.
Okay.
So middle of the pack, could go either way. But the only reason why I have Gem is that heaven forbid she does something that everybody in Survivor does in this new era, is tell everybody about the advantages that you have.
Mm-hmm.
if she breaks out and says to someone, even if she says it to Maria, this is so much fun, the wild goose chase that everybody's going on. Oh, by the way, I have this. We can work together in getting XYZ out. The painstaking process that they're going through right now, digging up this idol underneath the shit tree, which they should really realize at this point in time. The only thing you're doing is killing the tree. You're not doing anything else other than that. Once they realize that, she's in a world of hurt by way of her, her tribe. I do think she might very well keep her mouth shut and not say anything about it when she finally does find it. But there's gonna be something. It's gonna slip out, and someone's gonna find out, and then if you have 5 people in your tribe, you're gonna have 3 out of the 5 mad at you. Now you're just dead to rights, So she's in the middle. It could go either way. So that's why I have her number 8.
She is in trouble with that, where now she can't even confide in her closest allies about this. That's a great point, because if she does that, it's almost like sadistic at that point. It's like, so you've just been watching us dig under this tree, and maybe you've helped a little bit. That's not going to help.
Had to like say it earlier, like let them know before,
and say, but you got to be in on it. You got to be in on it. Like that's different.
Yeah, because whoever spoke it broke it.
You just got these all over. Oh my goodness. I hate this podcast. I'm done. I hate this.
No, I mean, if she had spoken it before, but now she spoke it, she would broke it.
Yes. So, I do like this. I just got a text from our next 3 guests, and they've all said that they want to cancel. They don't want to come on anymore. So there you go. They've all said we've had enough of Will. Bring back Alexa, or we're done.
If you thought it, you brought it. Okay.
That's it. That's it. What do you have at 8, Will? You got anything that rhymes with 8? You got a name in here?
I could actually probably find one, but no, I will give you my 8. I have Liz. I mean, again, this is kind of like smack dab in the middle, kind of the same thing as Ben. Like, seems like she's in an okay spot. I think if that tribe loses, it's Soda gotta Goda, or they'll go after Venus, because they don't trust her heading into a merge. Just, hey, let's just do the safe thing, do the easy thing, get rid of Venus. So for the vote to land on Liz, something pretty specific would have to happen. But it's not like she's in the numbers or in a good alliance or like in a really safe spot. I know they like brought it up to her that they want to target Soda, but that doesn't mean she's like home safe. So I think 8's like, I could see her going, but not one of like the bottom people. So kind of like the same thing I just said about Ben. But yeah, Liz at 8.
That makes sense with the spot you're in here. Bruce, do you have Liz yet? Who do you have at 9?
Oof. At 9, I have Ben.
Okay.
I have Ben at 9. The only thing that's sticking out in my mind in regards to Ben was, when they're coming up to the immunity challenge, and he's like, yes! People are like this, like turning their head and looking at him like, what? That kind of stuff, I think, tends to wear on people, especially you're not eating, you're getting more frustrated, and you can have that positive mentality, but sometimes when you're over the top like that, it's a little much. But the other thing also is I'm trying to think of any of the challenges that he was in where he was like, a dominant part of the challenge to help them move forward, and I can't remember any of it. When he was doing that, so
he's just not bad at challenges, right? Like he's doing just enough at the challenges. He sat out once last week. In the last episode, he did sit out. I think it was the reward challenge he didn't participate in. So he's not great. You're not going to find the dominant performance, Bruce. I'll save you the time of going back and watching again. I don't think you're going to find it.
I appreciate you. But that's how I'm looking at it with Ben. He's 9. I have him as 9, so he's in the middle of the pack, hit or miss either way. Just don't piss anybody off in the next, before the next tribal council if you guys end up going. Because I think he'd be a low-hanging fruit person. Like there's only 3 that I have lower than him on mine. Oh, spoiler.
Will, who do you have at 9?
I have Kin. And it might seem high, but what I'm banking on sort of here is I think Green is going to win. I think this is the tribe that just doesn't go to tribal council before the merge at this point, because I think they're in really good spirits. We've talked about them being like really cohesive. So I think we're either getting like Purple going to their 4th straight tribal council. Should have been 5th straight. Or we're going to see Orange go. And then Orange, anything, I've got some toss-ups, but I'm not too concerned with where the Green Tribe Sega is. So I got Tim at 9, and I'll just go Mariah at 10. And Mariah is the lowest person I have on the Green Tribe. And I think if they do go, she is the most likely. But I've got 4 other people that I'm like just more worried about. So I got there's Sega all right there. They're all in this ranking. So yeah, Tim at 9, Mariah at 10.
Did you listen to Quentin Riley earlier? Did you listen? I put it up here again, Will. Can you not read this? Come on.
We're saying the editing is sort of last. Brandon got no confessionals, episode 3 and 4. But yeah, that's what he said about Tim, but that's not how I watched the show.
Okay? No, that's fact. It's been etched into stone.
I'm not breaking it down by the numbers. I'm looking at what the people, the dynamics, and what we've got on the season. And this Green Tribe, I just don't see them losing. Like, they have to get last place.
Yeah,
like, they have to lose the challenge outright, and I just don't see it. And if that does happen, then 9 and 10 aren't that high of rankings. So you got to put someone in the bottom.
No, you're right. You're right.
That's right, Phil. Thank you.
You are losing, though, between me, the guests that we've had each week, and you are in last place with 37. We both have 42. Logan DeSouza.
I got screwed on the random thing. I had him at 5, and he got medevac. It had nothing to do with the game. So
Logan DeSouza says, "Go Bruce, Southeast New England representing." He's winning our patron game of power rankings, which is why I wanted to make sure I threw him in right there. So maybe we should all be listening to Bruce. There you go. I love Quentin Riley. This is good. When Tim goes home, I'm coming back here and rubbing it in Will's face. Quentin, I will welcome you back with open arms if you want to come back and rub it in Will's face.
Whoever deduced it, produced it.
That's it. I am so done with this, man. The rhymes. Even Bruce is at the point now. Bruce is laughing way too hard.
He's giving me charity chuckles at this point.
Yeah, he is. He is. His wife has left the car, and she's just walking out there, just standing by the fence, freezing because she can't stand you, Will.
I'm talking about Survivor. I'm talking about Survivor strategy. I don't know what you think I'm talking about.
Yes. No, I couldn't possibly fathom. Number 9. Where do I go with my number 9? This is where it gets a little bit tricky because I got Tim and Mariah. I have Q and Kenzie, and I have Soda and Venus. So these are the people.
Once you get to 9, you have 2 from each tribe, and then you kind of got to pick your tribe that you think is losing.
Yeah, Courtney Burris says, "When Phil is done, it's no longer fun." And William, great name, horrible jokes. Okay, anyway,
when Phil is done, we finally have fun.
Yeah, that could be it too. I like that Courtney did that, like put the rhyme in there, came up with her own. This is what we're here for. This is what we like on the specialists. This is where it's really hard. These are the bottom 2 on both tribes, I think, like easily, no questions asked. So now it comes down to which tribe do I think will go home. So I am going to put Mariah at 9. And I think at 10, I'm going to actually split the difference here, and I'm going to put Venus because I think that Soda was being harped on so much last week that I think Soda would be the one that Orange would ultimately go with. So I'm going to say Mariah at 9, and Tim's going to take the blame for something he didn't do. It seems like, based on his edit, it has been funky. So if they were going to go, I think it would be him instead of Mariah. Venus, we just got to get her to the merge. I'm going to do everything in my power to get her to the merge. If I have to put her at 10 and she really should be number 13 or 14, so be it. I want her at the merge. I want to see her start to cause some chaos. I think she's going to be a lot of fun to watch play if she gets to that stage. So we got to get her there. So Mariah 9, Venus 10. And that means that Q and Kenzie I have at the bottom here with Tim and Soda. So I'll get to those in a sec. But Bruce, who do you have at 10?
At 10, I have Liz. Yeah, I don't know who she's rubbing the wrong way at all. Could have the ability to be doing it on multiple fronts. But there's some, again, she's just past that halfway spot where she's, in my mind, very vulnerable. I don't know. She just has the ability to just kind of be there but not be there, so they wouldn't really feel bad. In my mind, with whoever's left, you got Tevin, you got Hunter, you got Soda, and you got Venus. According to my rankings here, my final 3 people on this tribe, on the Orange tribe, which is Nami, she would She could fall anywhere in them, but I think she's the safest of my final three.
Gotcha. Yeah. I still feel like Liz. They
Wait, you have
got
Liz
to.
Wait, don't you have Liz at like
I
2?
read 2. They have to come up with Liz's name brand new in this episode. Liz is starting to grow on me, man. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Liz coming in, and now she's starting to grow on me a little bit. So like, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I can see it happening, but I'm not there yet.
You're going to get there. It's going to happen. I can feel it. What is it? Everybody wants Liz. Is that what she said at one point? Like, guys love Liz or something? Like, yeah. It's coming, Bruce. It's coming. Will, who do you have at 11?
At 11, I have Kenzie. And this is really tough. I'm with you, Phil. I've already done the green tribes to get they're done. And so now it's like, how do I arrange the bottom 2 on Yanu and the bottom 2 on Nami? And that's what I'm kind of struggling with. But out of all of them, I feel like if the purple tribe, if Yanu somehow goes, we've talked about it, Phil. Tiffany's looking at Q and can just say, people think that we're a pair, that we're a duo. If I get rid of Q, I don't have the target on me. And guess what? Everyone heard that Kenzie is a mastermind. So I'd rather keep Kenzie in the game over Q. Now, this is one anecdotal thing that they heard from Banu. So maybe you don't base your entire game around that, in which case, hey, maybe Kenzie should be in danger. I mean, either way, we're in agreement that Tiff is making that call. So it's really up to her. And if her and Q do have that strong of a bond, as Bruce thinks so, then maybe they could go Kenzie. But I don't know. I'm hoping this tribe doesn't go. And for that reason, the optimist in me will at least put Kenzie 11 and Q 12. And then my bottom 2 will be from the Nami tribe.
I like that you're going this route of hope some other tribe win. Or
yes.
Loses. Yeah. And let's have this happen. Let's get the 3 Yanu. 2 of the merge. Let's see them actually get to play it out.
And because we've seen so much of them, like, can't we? It's like, if they were to lose again, would we still have seen this much of them throughout? It seems crazy. It seems like we spent over half the season with these 3 people. Like, we know them so well. Like, and I think we can take some time off. I think.
I agree.
Some other people, hang out with some other tribes.
I agree.
I'll kill mine real quick then, and then Will, you can kill yours, and then we'll have Bruce do his. So I go Tim at 11. So I do think he's the lowest on green, but I agree with you, Will. I think green is the safest of these tribes. And then I'm going to go Kenzie at 12. I'm going to go Q at 13. I talked about this on the podcast with Jake, where I said Q becomes very much in trouble this week because the Mergatory is next. So you start to say to yourself, well, do we really need to keep around the strongest guy in our tribe if we've lost all the time anyway, and now we're going to get rid of him? Well, I think it was an interesting point you brought up where it was talked about how Tiffany and Q were really close. I think the problem that Tiffany's in right now is if she does vote off Q, it's just going to be seen as, well, you and Kenzie are really close because there's no way to really hide that. And then I am going to put Soda.
Yeah.
I am going to put Soda at the last spot because I feel like they really, really, really set this up last week on the Nami tribe that Soda has to go. People are getting on board with it. And it seemed like that was the next storyline they were setting up for this season. Yanu, they had to get rid of Banu. They were going to do that whole thing, but we didn't really get, okay, what's going to happen between these 3 next? With Sega, we didn't really get a lot of, okay, which person's going to go home, though, if this happens? Although in the preview, we do see Tim being like, what did I do? You know, we see that a little bit. But for me, it's Soda. They set this up. Tevin has done the full turn on her. And if they're willing to show that in an episode where that tribe doesn't go to tribal council, to me, that says something. So I have Soda at the final spot, and I think she will be the one who goes home this week. Will, what do you have at 13 and 14?
I have Soda at 13 and Venus at 14. I think the Soda thing is like, let's just remember that Hunter, Tevin, and Soda were a 3-person alliance. And I know what Hunter said about he wants to be Tevin's number 1. He's going to fight for Soda with that. At the end of the day, I feel like there is a strong chance they just go to tribal once, like get through one vote and stick together before mixing things up. And I think it might be a product of them just like winning all these challenges, not having to go tribal. And they're just like sitting around and they're talking through every scenario. They're just getting bored. Bruce, I don't know if this happened to you, but like, did the target shift once, because you were on the tribe that just kept winning and you didn't go to your first tribal council until, very like halfway into the game. You probably think through everyone's name and talk it through. And I think this might be the show just trying to set us up a bit. Obviously, I have her at 13. I don't think she's in a good spot at all. But to me, Venus seems much more likely to be the boot, especially because we did not hear a lick from her after Randon going home. And that was the story we've been told, was that Venus and Randon are this unlikely couple, the odd couple, pretty much. They have an advantage or a chance to get an advantage. And then that just withered away. We didn't hear anything. And that doesn't sit right with me. It's almost like, okay, Venus had something go and now Randon's gone. She doesn't really have, a good standing here. So I got Venus at 14. I think if that tribe loses, it's going to be kind of a predictable Venus boot, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, with when we're with Bella, it was like we never went. So the conversations were being, I never had a conversation in regards to wanting to vote anybody out. I had conversations about who I didn't want to work with, but not about who I wanted to vote out. But unbeknownst to me, it was happening. People were talking about voting people off, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is way too premature to be able to do that, because we're not losing anything. And I would do whatever I possibly could to make sure we didn't lose anything. So, and also with you can either you get first or second, you're safe with the three tribes. So what do you just fight for second, bare minimum? So, but yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, Will. And now I'm copying you, but I'm not going to tell you when I'm copying you yet.
That's right.
For my 11 and 12, I have Mariah going 11, and I have Tim going 12. I have Tim at the bottom of green. Mariah, Mariah to me, she's like, the lovable person that you're not going to feel bad about voting out, and she's not going to make you feel bad about it either. Tim's got, he's 31. He's got the old man at it. It seems like in my mind, even though he's younger than, a good portion of the people that are here or right around the same age, but he's getting the old man at it. I can see it. Him jumping on that. Come on, man. He jumped on that and I was like, what are you doing? I turned my head and he's on the water. Like, what just happened? And I come back and he's struggling to get back on, and Jeff's making it a point. The third time. Oh my God. But that was his blunder. So I think that's going to stick in the back of the minds of Sega. Like, okay, so we can really do without him. And I don't know how socially he's getting along with everyone that's on the tribe. He's the same age as Ben, but they're all younger than Maria.
Yeah.
So, and then for, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's something just with Ben's confessionals. It seems like he's just very aware. It doesn't seem like he's in good socially with everybody, but just like hearing him speak, he kind of knows what's going on his tribe. He seems to have like a really good understanding. Like his perception is very strong. I think he's a very perceptive person. He feels like he has accurate reads. I could be reading this completely incorrectly, but I feel like he's going to be with us. I don't know. I feel okay about 10.
Ben is me when it comes to that. Like I had a very good idea as to what was going on, aside from Katora, but I had a good idea as to what was going on. I was predicting things that were going to happen, and not all of them, but I want to say a very good portion of them, I was kind of spot on. Which that is what Ben has. For my 13 and 14, 13 I got Soda, and then 14 I got Venus. Soda.
Fine.
Copying Will. You're welcome, Will. Yes. But yeah, it's taking a look at Soda. Soda's going to be in danger because I really do think that Tevin does not want to share the limelight with someone with his personality. Like he doesn't want to do that. There's no other factor involved with that aside from that he wants to shine. He wants to be, the one that's noticed above and beyond anybody else. So him cutting her is going to be okay for his game because he gets along with everyone. So it doesn't really matter. And then for Venus, just her, her time has come. She's probably seen done certain things that we haven't seen on camera that just annoyed people above and beyond. So I think that she's probably the most dangerous, the person that's in the most danger this week. If obviously if Nami goes to tribal.
Yeah, I went the opposite way of both of you. But I do feel like that's a little bit of a toss up. I put Venus higher just because I was putting in the purples and Tim down there, but I just really want her to get to the. I just want her to get to the merge. Like I really do. I know, and this is the episode that sucks because this is the person who like, you know, you're just gonna miss out on even getting to do the mergatory. But you know, I want Venus to survive this. I feel like she's gonna make some waves and take down Nami for sure. So
Does she remind you of Sydney?
Not a little bit, but I feel like Sydney never got to play the game. And I feel like that is where Venus is at right now. But I feel like the way it's been set up is Venus is going to play the game. She is going to play it and she is going to do something. And maybe that's as simple as they catch wind that she was willing to flip on them once they hit the merge. So they decide to vote. Tevin's got the confessional of, oh man, I had to vote out Venus instead of Soda because Venus she admitted to somebody that she was going to turn on us. I could see that totally happening. Sydney kind of was just like, I think she was shown in a more negative light because she was about to get screwed in the biggest twist of all time. So they didn't really know how else to show her and not make us so pissed off.
Yeah. I
Can I mention something really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
These love them all because they're part of my Survivor family. Y'all boiled your drawers in the pot that you're gonna be cooking rice. It's just if you're skittish from the noise it just made, too bad because it's gross. Get out there with the sand, clean it with the sand, let it. Tyson Apostle said it. Let it, clean it in the sand, put it out in the sun, let the sun kill it. Like, come on, man, you're gonna be cooking crabs in there and rice and maybe your fish. Like, oh.
Remember when Tarzan did that back in One World?
That was a weird move.
Lost her mind. He put his on. He's like, no, they're clean, and she's like, they absolutely are not clean. No, they aren't.
No. Well, it was weird too. It wasn't like one person. It's like all of them just put it in, and like they're
couldn't
all
find
on top of each other. Yeah.
Gross, man. I'm sorry I had to bring it up, but just gross. It's just wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have 90-minute episodes. That's all I can say.
So we can see people boil their underwear. Yeah. And they're not brushing their teeth, people, after they eat their food that they just ate out of the same pot that the boiled. Yeah.
Oh, that's your problem? It's the not brushing your teeth part?
No. I'm just saying, no, obviously. Well, that's not the problem. Not the fact that they're just eating shit. Okay. Anyway, go on a hunger strike, says Trevor, the therapist. And it's gross. I couldn't believe they were doing it either. We have this one real quick. I want to say this. Trevor, the therapist, says Randon said in his interview that he would give his idol to Venus if he could, but he did not have time. Is that allowed? Jeff clarified this in his with an interview with Dalton Ross, where he said it was allowed, but he had to do it before he was pulled from the game. So he literally would have had to have given her the clue and everything in front of everybody while they were sitting there. There was no way for him to do it secretly because he didn't know he was being pulled until Jeff came walking out, and they weren't going to let him walk off on his own. So he probably would have blown up Venus's game as it was.
Right, but he didn't even. It's not like he had the idol to even pass. It was just a clue, and a clue is very different because a clue is information, and I could show you my clue. I can show it to you, and then if
you could have whispered it to her.
Yeah, or you could have shown they were an alliance. They were a pair. He could have shown it to her before that happened. Now, if that did happen, I feel like the show would have, showed us. But it is a little murky with that because it's not like passing an idol. It's just, hey, dig under this spot when we lose a challenge. That's all you needed to say. It's not like this complicated. It's not like he already had the word jumble or the code.
But if you remember in 46, there were flashbacks, man. Like, they could very well do it.
No, that's a very good point. Especially with 90-minute episodes. They're not afraid to like focus on a story and make the scene a little longer and flash back.
Remember, we had 4 days later earlier this season. 4 days later, and they went back and showed gems. So that absolutely could be a thing that they do. And then this one, Kendra Matheson says, if I were Tiff, I'd rather go to the merge with Kenzie than Q, even if I like Q more, because Kenzie will bring in allies, hopefully somebody like Venus, while Q is a likely early merge boot. Yes, Q is going to definitely have a target on him when they hit the merge, because he is
if he's still around.
Which
we hope he is.
Bruce, before I let you go, who is your winner pick for this season?
It's so tough. It truly is so tough. There was a massive amount of toss up because I take a look at Hunter, who reminds me of Austin. he would have been, for me personally, had I played 46, he would have been the guy that I was looking at that I would want to win, overall. But it's tough for him because he is a physical, I guess, challenge beast, because he kind of is. He'll rattle off. I'm banking 2 immunities, individual immunities. He's gonna have them this year. Like, he definitely will, minimum. But I don't know. My overall, if I stick to my guns, and someone mentioned it earlier, and this might be whatever. My overall pick is I'm gonna go with Maria. I'm gonna go with her winning the entire thing, and I think that she's gonna have one thing up that Julie didn't have on our season, because Julie got information. If you remember, Julie got information. She idled out Emily, and she was close enough to Austin. Austin gave her that idol, you know what I'm saying? And she was smart enough not to give it back to him to protect herself the following week. So, and then she made it pretty far. And I don't know. I think that she's going to take over where Julie left off, and Maria's going to end up winning the season this year.
I love that pick. That's
everybody cheers in the background.
Yeah, you heard that. Maria's whole family is behind Bruce right now, clapping. Yeah, that's
and they're all watching right now. They better be.
Yeah. No, I like that pick. I mean, I think so far we've had Kenzie was Cassidy's pick. Jake took Charlie. Adam had, I think Maria was his winner pick as well. I think he said Maria, and then he said a long shot would be Rand, and then Rand was medevac 3 days later. So I think you and Adam both said Maria. So if you're saying it and Adam's saying it, I might have to just say, you know what? Maybe Maria's the winner of the season. If the alumni are thinking it, if the alumni are feeling it, and like Kenzie or Cassidy did pick Kenzie because she said it reminded her a lot of herself. Jake picked Charlie because Charlie lives a couple towns over from him. You and Adam kind of feel like you're picking Maria for like legitimate reasons. You're really thinking this through. So maybe Maria is she the most obvious winner of all time? Is that what we're sitting here saying? Should we start putting that on the internet?
Yeah.
Hate Maria immediately?
Listen, I put a little money on it.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, and hopefully nobody put their money on anything that Will and I said in our March Madness pool podcast, because we got slaughtered.
Oh, I think, yeah, that's not going.
Everybody did. Everybody did. What are the two brackets right now that are not busted out of like 5 million, some crazy number like that?
Some crazy.
Well, yeah, there were 22 million brackets on ESPN, and there are 0 perfect remaining. Mm-hmm. There might be a couple on other sites though, but yeah, it's wild.
It is. Absolutely insane. Just wanted to throw that out there. Since you said you were putting money, I'm over here. I'm like, okay, how's Marquette in Colorado going right now? But anyway.
It's a tie game. Wow.
It's a tie game. Marquette was winning by 11 at halftime, and now it's tied. It's just unbelievable.
They were up 11 at halftime?
11.
Get out of here.
Bruce is over here like, dude, I'm trying to watch my daughter play softball. I don't care about Marquette in Colorado.
Nah, man. Listen, I multitask like the best of us.
He's been watching this whole time. He's like, I can tell you all the stats.
What do you know? My daughter follow the ball straight back. That means you're on it. You just you just got to raise the bat habit, but your timing's on it. And then they put down the bunt sign, and she bunts, and she's thrown out.
Wow!
Come on, man.
They're bunting. This is strategic.
That's softball, man. Softball's fun. Softball's actually
softball's amazing.
Sport. Yeah,
amazing. I would much rather watch softball over any MLB game. If I go to a Boston Red Sox game, and if there's like, Texas A&M is playing, I don't know, whoever, in their conference. If I'm watching that, I'm sitting there like this with my phone while the Red Sox game's going on.
Yeah,
because I could watch 6 innings in 3. Like it's fast paced.
I love doing softball games because you go down, you work a doubleheader, and the doubleheader's over in like 4 hours, 4.5 hours, other than doing a doubleheader for baseball where you're there for 6-7 hours. You get the half hour.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Softball's great. Love doing softball games. But anyway, that's it. That's what we got. Bruce, anything you want to end this with? Any last words of wisdom other than go watch your tell-all that we did? People need to go watch the tell-all.
Go watch the tell-all. It was a ton of fun. I always have so much fun when I talk to you guys. Will, first time, so I you made me feel at home. I appreciate you.
Good. I'm glad.
So go watch the tell-all. I've been doing cameos. So I'm gonna put a little shameless plug out there. I'm doing cameos of at least 3 or 4 a week. They're so much fun. And I only denied one request. One request was like do a cameo without my shirt on. So like, nah, you're out, bro.
Oh.
And that was Will's request. You turned down Will's request.
My bad, bro.
Sorry,
But I'm thoroughly loving this. I hate the fact that some people are looking at this season as lesser than. I know that season 45, 44, I had a very good part in making that a great season, at least for the first 12 minutes. And then 45 was a great season, and you can't really compare seasons. You just have to compare experiences. Like have your experience a little bit different compared to all the other seasons that you watch, because everything's different. The people might look the same. They might remind you of someone, but it just comes down to like see their experience. This is their experience with that they're living, and just go along for the ride. And it doesn't suck. Nothing sucks. It's a television show. Just watch, be amused. If you don't like it, wait 5 minutes and you'll find something you do like.
Yeah, I'm with you there too. I think that's a good point. Like even if people are down on this season so far, like I think the prospects moving forward for it, like this can be a phenomenal rest of the season. Like it really can be. I think we have got a great group of people. It seems like we got a live game in front of us. So let's keep our heads up.
I agree.
Yeah, Zan says we are hoping 46 changes gear now. It was a slow start. It's time to cook. I feel like it could, man. I really do. I feel like the cast can bring it. I feel like the cast has been bringing it. I just feel like there's been a little bit less brought just because of where screen time has gone, and that's just because one tribe is getting decimated and there was no swap. So
I agree.
And I like Ice X here picking the upsets. That's the key to March Madness.
Yeah, how'd that work out yesterday?
Didn't at all. 8-0 favorites. 8-0
were 8-0 yesterday. So not too kind to people who bet on every underdog. Just saying.
No, not saying that anybody on this podcast bet on every underdog.
If someone did that, they would be in a world of hurt. I don't know if we do that.
Not saying, guys, but there used to be a chair behind Will, and it's no longer there because I'm pretty sure he had to go give it to somebody.
I'm standing up this entire podcast because I had to sell my chair.
And he doesn't have a computer anymore because he also had to get rid of that after yesterday. Bruce, always a pleasure, man. Always a good time. Love having you on the show. And we'll definitely be doing this again in the future. For anybody who is still here, become a patron, patreon.com/thespecialist. We are putting out nonstop content. Will and I did a Q&A on Friday, which was probably my favorite podcast I've ever recorded, where we talked about choo-choos and how many chuggas come before a choo-choo. I know I keep talking about it. It is literally the funniest thing. Wait, how many you got?
I got 4.
You got 4.
Chugga.
We have people saying 8, 4, 2, 6. It's
what?
crazy.
I got 6.
Yeah. What? Chugga. Too many.
No, it's
chugga. Choo-choo. It's 4.
Chugga. Choo-choo.
And I go chugga choo-choo. It's chugga choo-choo.
It's chugga choo-choo.
Too many, Will.
It's great though,
Not
right?
enough. Not enough, Phil.
Well, Bruce, you're right in between us because Phil says 2, I say 6, and you're coming in here right.
I'm coming in 4.
Yeah. This was probably the best thing ever. So if you want to be a patron, patreon.com/specialist. We just put that one out on Friday. You get that. We're also starting our Every Season Matters of Survivor Marquesas. That's going to be a really good time. We talk about the history of Marquesas, gameplay evolution, casting, winner satisfaction, all that fun stuff. So that's for our top tier patrons. Power rankings games, fantasy games, y'all are killing it. Thank you all for getting your power rankings in last week. To our top tier patrons, you did a great job. Every single one of you turned them in. I am impressed. I am shocked. I love it. I've been doing my after show. We've had casting perspective, Survivor Rock Draw. We have so much content coming out on the Patreon. It's a lot of fun. We're putting out almost one thing every single day. So tune into that. Make sure you get involved there. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, go follow us on social media. And we will see you Wednesday night after the episode, when Will and I are talking about episode 5 of Survivor 46. Thanks so much, Bruce. Loved having you on, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Whoever explained it ordained it.